All right, this video is, I believe, Curtis. If it is not Curtis, my man, I am sorry. I didn't write your name down, but Curtis rings a bell in my head, so I hope it's your name. So he comes up here into great leg lift, knees back, toes back, does a great job with that. We talked about that, starting to kind of create momentum towards a target, talked about that. Starts to flare that front leg out, right? So that's a perfect indication of hip mobility. Hips are super tight, hip flexors are super tight, may not be able to touch his toes, with his hamstrings are tight. And as he starts to go reach out there with into front foot strike before his foot lands on the ground, you'll notice how he's pulling that back leg off because he's super tight. He's not able to stretch the hips that wide, so his back leg is pulling off. And the reason we know it's pulling off is because you can see that it's bent, right? So he's obviously not pushing with it. If he was, he'd be straight, and his leg would be completely straight into what we call triple extension, where the hip is straight, the knee is straight, and the ankle is straight, right? Triple extension. And so he's pulling it around, and so he's kind of lunging, and obviously when he's lunging like that, then he's going to be throwing all upper body. And the reason he's all upper body is you can notice how tall he stands. So we really talked on keeping back, not allowing that knee to really buckle in and turn in, because all you're doing is then you're just turning the hips rather than powering through the hips and helping that kinetic chain throw that baseball a lot better. So we talked about that, talked about understanding that back leg, and then obviously what we call forward trunk tilt. So getting the body, so right here his body is about a 63 degrees release point. We want his body in the low 40s, upper 30s as far as a release. So he's got a little bit to go. And how he's going to do that is obviously driving off the mound is going to help him out a lot more.